Today's sponsor of the show is one of the biggest supporters of the Cory Cast, one of the longest running sponsors. Our friends at 13 make high quality apparel that fits just right. I mean, look at this. Are you kidding me? I haven't done any push-ups and these sleeves are making my biceps pop. Not only do they make like high quality stuff, but they also are high quality humans that are behind this product. I love what they put out, and I just love how comfortable all their stuff is. I get so many compliments on the way the shirts and the hoodies fit, and I just love them. They wanted to extend our friendship to the listeners at home. You can go to their website, thur13en.com. Pick out a shirt, a hoodie. Just make sure at checkout you use the code word CoryCast, all one word, CoryCast, and you can save yourself a little bit of money. And thank you, 13, for always being a supporter and sponsor of the podcast. Today's guest is my friend Eli Pacini. I hope I said that right, Eli, and you don't kill me for butchering your name. But Eli started a roofing company called Melo Roofing, and I really enjoy and appreciate the fact that he kind of looked at Syracuse as a whole and was looking at where he could build a business and where we had opportunities right here in Syracuse. He has now built one of the largest, honestly, in my opinion, the most successful roofing company here in Syracuse by just sticking to simple tenets, customer service, answering the phone, and looking for solutions, right? I told the story, and I'm sure you're going to hear it during the podcast, but I was looking for a roofing company to come do a repair job on our old house. And I called 4 different roofing companies. 2 of them never called me back. The other one picked up the phone, said he was going to call me later, and he was in the middle of a job. Never heard back from him. Eli, I was able to get a hold of Melo Roofing. Immediately someone picked up the phone, and they had an appointment scheduled where Eli came out literally within 2 or 3 days, or the following week. He was there to look at the house, gave us an estimate, and really, it seems like a no-brainer. But these kind of things are going to help you win customers time and time again. And him helping me with my small job turned into a much larger job when he had to do my grandmother's house. My grandmother had to do her house, her detached 2-car garage, and the roof on the pool house. And Eli got that job because of his wonderful customer service, and also just because Eli's like just a great dude. I loved catching up with him, and also really learning what it took to grow such a successful business. He definitely has like an entrepreneur sense of mind where he's looking for mentors, he's looking for opportunities to grow. And I think honestly, that is what sets Eli apart from the competition, because he's not just looking for the next job. He is also helping customers, but also trying to look at the bigger picture in terms of how he can grow and scale his business in an effective way without dropping those calls. So if you are an entrepreneur, you are going to love this episode because we dived into starting a business and what it's been like. And I'm just glad I had time to sit down with my friend Eli. So without further ado, here is my friend Eli. Eli, you are the owner of Melo Roofing Company, right?
Yep.
And how long has that been in business for?
I've been around now for about 5 years on my own.
That's pretty cool. So you were just telling me 4 years is Melo, right?
Right.
And what did you do that year before? Were you working for somebody else?
So I actually served in the United States Army out of high school. Went to Fort Hood, Texas. Ended up coming home. Didn't really know what to do. Worked for a company called Armored One locally. They do bulletproof windows, doors, and glass.
Whoa. Bulletproof windows and glass?
Yeah.
Geez, is there a high demand in Syracuse for bulletproof glass?
They're pretty on like a national level. So they'll go down big schools, New York City, New Jersey, down in Virginia. They go all over the country.
Wow, that's cool.
So as far as, what I did before, I actually went to SU to finish my bachelor's degree because I already had my associates when I got it in the service. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I decided to start a company while I was up there. company started taking off. I did everything. I had a buddy who did HVAC for me. I did landscaping.
What was the company?
It's called ENS Home Essentials.
Oh, so it was like a
So-
full service, like whatever
Yep.
you need done.
Everything, pretty much. So
Everything.
yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
So we did roofing, HVAC, plumbing, you name it, kind of thing. So
Whoa.
gutting, remodeling, trash, demo
Now this is when
work.
you were serving in the military still?
So this was when I just got out.
Oh, okay.
So, at the time, I was thinking about being a cop. The world wasn't going the best, so I really didn't want to go that route.
Right.
And then, ultimately it was just one of those things where I realized that I wanted to kind of hone in on my services. So.
Wow. How did you land on a roofing company when you came here?
So I was born and raised like I said, in the area. I went to H.W. Smith near Lemoyne College over on Clare Road. My parents ended up taking me over to Baldwinsville in about 6th grade, where I graduated from Baker. My grandfather owned quite a few rental properties and some contracting business, small time, 2 or 3 employees himself. So I got to kind of see and be a part of that.
Yeah.
So I wish I started sooner, but it wasn't the case. But
Hindsight's always 20/20.
For sure.
Especially when you now are running like a really smooth, successful company. You're like, dang, I wish I could have done this sooner.
Right. Yeah.
It's always 20/20. So entrepreneurship is like run in your family's blood.
I wouldn't say that. I just think, I don't come from high end. I'm not low end. I'm medium class. Just like the hard work. Most of my family's been in the service. My stepdad was in for 10 years, active
Wow.
duty at Fort Drum, infantry. My uncle was in the Marines for like 35 years.
Holy cow.
So most of my family is military background.
Military base, yeah. Gotcha. So you launched this roofing company. Was it because you saw a need for it in Syracuse?
Yeah, so pretty much, ENS wasn't even a full 12 months that I ran it. It was actually more like half a year. I pretty much took everything off an Excel sheet. I looked at what demanded the most in the market at the time.
Wow. Okay, so what went into analyzing that?
It was pretty much just seeing service demand, what was the most scalable. For me, we complete most roofs in a day. Obviously, people-wise, what could be the most scalable. Just a couple of those.
Move the mic up just a little bit closer.
Yeah, there we
perfect.
go.
Yeah. So you went the roofing route because you felt like it was the most scalable.
Yeah, I enjoyed it the most. I like fast-paced environment. Siding, you could be there for 2 weeks to 4 weeks. It's a long time to be at a person's house. Same with kitchens and bathrooms.
And one job
Yeah,
is taking
so,
that long. Like
yeah, I like change of pace, meeting different people, kind of moving throughout the community a little bit. I just like to move along and on to the next thing, kind of.
that's cool. And that the roofing just kind of fit the bill pretty much.
Pretty much, yep.
Wow. I never would have thought of looking at it from that perspective, being like, all right, I want to start a new business, but like, I want to find what the need is. I just was like, I want to jump into real estate because it looks like a cool job. I didn't think like, ooh, there's a demand for real estate. So how do you like effectively scale your business? Because that's got to be a tough thing to juggle.
Yeah, so we grew really, really fast.
Crazy.
We went from about 50 roofs to about 250, all the way up almost to like 500 last year.
Was that your first year from 50 to 250?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, how?
So
what do you think
we
attributes
quadrupled,
that?
then we tripled.
That's crazy, dude.
So
Wow.
crazy growth.
What do you think attributed to that?
I really didn't. Hire until I had to. So we I always just put the business first. Like I still don't own my own. Like I own income property, but I don't still own my own personal house yet. I've always just said delayed gratification is gonna get you a lot farther than most Americans is, I want. Now.
Right.
So I'm just delaying, and feeding the beast.
Yeah.
And that's usually, it's paid off for me. So
Wow, dude, that's cool. Who would have thought? Yeah. So what do you think like really attributed to that growth that quick? Was it just like you knew how to scale, or was it because you guys put an emphasis on like communicating? Like what is it at the core?
It changes at each level. Ultimately, I really dove into learning from others, of course, out of state, in state. People that are willing to talk to me, like one of my mentors had a $200 million roofing company. You know, and they got bought out by private equity, and you know that's a guy talking to me at a local low level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So people are just open with the internet now. You could search and find anybody.
How did you find that mentor?
I mean, I'm involved with like the same thing probably as you are. A bunch of total Facebook groups. I go to conferences. I do different things, but you know, most people they go to these things and they don't actually, you know, do anything with the golden nuggets they get.
Yep. That's the like trope of real estate conventions is like you go there to drink and see your friends, and then you use none of it in your business. And it's like, why not? Like, there's really valuable information that you can take away from it. So you're just using that information and helping you leverage it in your business.
Pretty much. And, you know, to start, I mean, it hasn't been that way this year because I have some awesome employees now. But, you know, to start, I was doing 80 to 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
But, you know, then again, like, you know, most people don't know this, but I'm thankful for my grandparents, but, you know, they're pretty much like snowbirds, so they're never here. But when I first got home, I lived with them up until last summer.
Wow, really?
And even though, you know, we're a multi-million-dollar business, I stayed at home. So
right. And you were just trying to just pour whatever you could back into the company.
Much, yeah, because I don't have any debt. Everything's paid off already. So it's, you know what I mean? I've never been one to, like, leverage debt, you know, like you see with some of the larger builders or whatever, or they rob Peter to pay Paul. So everything's free and clear for us. So my biggest expense is marketing and payroll. So
nice. Well, and we'll get into marketing because you're really good. I think you're really good in marketing, but I wanted to make sure I told you that. I think I told you this a while ago, but when we first needed our roof fixed on our sun porch, I called, I'm not kidding you, 4 different roofing companies. 2 of them never called me back. One of them I got on the phone. He's like, I'm in the middle of a job right now. I'll call you back later tonight. Never heard from that guy. Called you guys, and I literally had an appointment the following week for you guys to come out and take a look at it. It wasn't like immediate next week roof was done, but at least I had an appointment. I had something set, and that was the day that I think you and I put it on the calendar, like literally that day, or maybe the next day it was on the calendar. So I think just being that receptive.
I think it's very simple.
Responding, right? Like I wonder how much other business these people left on the table that they could have had before.
You have to have people that care too.
Right.
You know.
And how do you find the people that care?
Because now you're like hiring. You go through, you know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest. I mean, most people today, they have a high turnover rate. Even construction has a high turnover rate. I've fired more people than I've hired. Yeah. Just because if they don't fit the bill, I don't want them around.
Right.
You know, you learn as you go. I'm still learning. It's not like when you open a business in New York State, they're like, here's our handbook.
Yeah, there is no handbook.
We're going to send you for a 4-week course.
No, they're not doing that.
No.
They're like, give me the money, see you later.
Pretty much, you know, it's easy pickings for them because you're an easy target. You know, you don't know the rules, you don't know what's supposed to happen. Right. So there has been, you know, trial and tribulation with that much growth, but, you know, we've gotten through it and we're fighting through it, and it's paid off and it's been very successful, and we're going to look to grow as we just purchased our first building. So
that's cool. And where's the building at?
It is 209 Factory Ave in Syracuse, across the street from Erie Materials. So.
Oh, that's cool. Is that do you get your stuff from Erie Materials?
I do.
Oh, okay. Wow, dude, how convenient is that?
Super convenient.
Was it literally you were interested in that spot because of the convenience next to Erie?
I mean, we have just been looking, you know, like I took 2 years before I started in a backyard. So I took 2 years before I actually leased my first place.
Whoa.
So I pretty much just had a white giant tent, and I was grabbing and going out of a backyard. So,
really? Dude, that's cool. You did that for 2 years?
Yep.
Wow, that is wild. You're running the entire company out of a white tent.
Yeah, out of my grandparents' house. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. So like, your job has got to be like super intense, spring, summer, fall, and then winter is like kind of chill.
Yeah, I mean, the last few years we've been pretty fortunate with, you know, going into, I'd like to say, you know, almost Christmas Eve, because the winters have been being less and less on us here. Mm-hmm. So, but ultimately, I really just think it is tough during the winter, but I mean, you really got 2 or 3 down months now. Yeah. You know, and most people, if you can budget, you're okay. Mm-hmm. I actually don't lay anybody off. I keep everybody on all winter long.
Oh, you do? Yep. Even though there's no jobs going on, you still keep them on?
For growth.
Wow, that's cool. Well, because that's showing that you're taking care of these people, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like when you are doing your budget, you're planning for those 2 months of probably no jobs, probably no bids to give out, but we still need to have the money allocated.
We give out bids, but, you know, We look at sign contracts as different. A sale's a sale, but ultimately you're not making money until you complete the job.
Right.
So.
Right. Because there's a deposit up front, but there's no
Right. Yeah, and then everybody ranges on deposits. I mean, we do as low as $500 down, the rest upon completion. Some people want 50%. If they want anything over 50, I usually say stay away from that a little bit. But we're a larger outfit, so we could take less down. I think 0 down's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
don't you want something locked in?
You do,
especially when you're doing
New York
all this
legally
work.
requires you to have at least $1 exchange for that contract to bind.
Oh,
so
okay.
we actually won't move people into any sort of production unless we're like really, really close with you and you're, somebody like yourself, to move forward on a project just because legally.
Yeah, right. Because you're the
we're not
owner
corporate
now.
by any means, but we deal with a lot of people every day, and when you're first growing, you deal with so many different aspects of life.
Yeah.
Because you're taking everything, even some things you shouldn't, as far as business goes and customers. Now we're to a point where I'm not saying we're picky, but we really like to pre-qualify to make sure you're the right fit for us and we're the right fit for you, because you can waste a lot of time. Roofing's kind of a dinosaur. I still don't know why free estimates are kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Even for real estate agents, you guys have got more picky with, hey, I need a pre-qualification. Because you can't just show up and say, oh, I got the money, and you don't.
Right. We need a little more substance. It's like a weird job, real estate, because it's like I could do all of this work and not get paid at the end in case something falls through, somebody loses a job. And there's I can't think of any other job that's like you do all this work and then if they don't show for it, then you're like, well, I can't take these people to court. Like I'm going to sue somebody who doesn't have money. Like where's that going to go? And like it just turns into a headache. It's a weird job type. And with you, it's like, what if you get to the point where you complete the job and they still owe you like $9,000 to finish the job? Do you have to take them to basically claims court, or do you put a lien against them?
I mean, I think everybody tries to settle things before it goes that route.
Yeah, right.
We're very reasonable. We don't, we're professional. We don't get nasty with people. But ultimately, a lot of people, it says due upon completion. That's how it is, unless you're going through some grant company such as like home headquarters or financing and such. But I mean, we have gone that route to where, we've had to put a lien on a home.
Yeah, right.
And then of course they want to pay and get it released, and we don't want to. I mean, we're really, really lenient, too lenient, and now we're getting more strict because we have in-house accounting and a third-party accountant. And
well, it's also something to be said too, because it's like, it's a job where you're spending so much money on materials, like the sheer amount of money just in materials alone. I mean, what is that budget compared to payroll? That's got to be like the balance has got to be skewed heavily towards materials, right?
We do a lot. I mean, let's just figure every roof is 12 to 15K.
Yep.
Almost by 500 roofs. I mean, you do the math. I don't
Yeah,
want to talk
right.
numbers, but
for sure.
Lot.
Dude, that's a lot that you see. And from growing, like one thing that I've always been impressed with you, Eli, is like your marketing. Like how have you leveraged marketing to grow the business?
I mean, you're starting to see it more this year because we got quite a few copycats going on out there.
The plane, dude. I don't see anybody.
Nobody did that one.
The plane and the banner at the one of the shows?
Twain
yeah, dude. That was a
concert.
genius idea, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we just want to be different, So I always tell people, like we just messaged for jokes the other day, another competitor, and I said, I'd love to see you guys copying, because literally things per line item were being taken from our quote. But I pretty much said, good luck.
Yeah.
I hope you can keep up.
Yeah.
Because we're competitive, and that's the thing. We're just, we're just classy about it. But I don't know. It's just easy to me. You got a budget, and you got to be unique.
How do you be unique? Like what kind of things?
You just got to be different, So like last year, I mean, for the years prior, it was pretty much, let's say roofing guys, us, and maybe Vanderhoof for billboards. You go on the highway now, there might be 12 roofers.
Yeah.
It's getting out of control.
Yeah, for sure, right?
Last year we were one of the first to, blanket yard signs. Now, earlier this spring, you saw a lot of yard signs out and about. And we went to one stop sign. I think there was 8 roofers at a stop sign.
What? Dude, that's hilarious. Oh my God, that's so funny.
But, the good thing, and people are always like, oh, pollution. Well, ours actually gets stolen. So, it's not polluting because ours are getting taken and everybody else stays. So
who's stealing the sign? What are you doing with the signs?
I'm not gonna throw out names because we actually did do GPS trackers. We put the air tags in a few.
Did you?
Swear.
My God, that's hilarious, dude.
We did catch a few.
I had one of my real estate signs get stolen.
Yeah.
I had a house in Eastwood, and the sign I went to go. We were closing, and I drove by to go grab the sign. I'm like, it's gone. Who took the sign? And I was thinking, like, I think
they probably just wanted it because you have the nice metal, right?
Yep, scrap metal. That's what I was thinking that somebody stole it from. Now it wasn't. It's not like the stake-in signs that you have. That's like cheap. It's plastic. What are you gonna do with that thing? Yeah. What are you doing with that thing?
Yep. So
So every year you're trying to do something different with your marketing,
and just wait till next year.
Has there been something that's been the most successful that you guys did?
No, I think it's being the most well-rounded.
Yeah.
We are the most well-rounded company out there in every aspect. I don't think we're getting close to, I feel, where it's saturated. But ultimately, I think there's more out there,
Yeah.
And I'm young. I just turned 28, so.
You're 28?
Yeah.
Damn.
So.
I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So, and I look old. No, I'm just kidding. Stress.
I thought you were 45.
Yeah, it's
no,
the hairline. I'm just kidding. But
that's hilarious.
Ultimately, I think, times are going to turn. Most people my age aren't getting into construction.
Yep, 1,000%.
There's a lot of older dogs out there. Like I said, back to the estimate things. I mean, if you call an HVAC guy on a weekend, you're getting charged $250 at least just to come out.
Yeah.
So I kind of think the same way. I mean, everything keeps going up, unfortunately. It's just the way of the land. But roofing's not getting any cheaper either. It's just the product.
Right.
I mean, there's the main multi-billion-dollar corporations, and it's mixed with asphalt. Gas goes up, roofing goes up.
Yep, right.
And it's easy pickings for them because there's maybe 4 major ball players in the whole U.S. or the whole world, so they control it.
But what I like is like you guys are thinking outside the box, and also just like still keeping it to like returning a phone call is super basic, right? Mm-hmm. But like there's other people dropping the ball. Yeah. There's people dropping the ball, so they fumble the ball, and you guys pick up my house and my grandma's house, right?
My grandma's so sweet.
Dude, she loved you. She loved you. She was like, I think the owner came to my house, and he's so nice. He's a nice guy. He stopped by to make sure the job was good. Oh, he was so nice.
I liked her a lot.
Yeah,
she's the sweetest.
Yeah, everybody says that about her. She's just a sweet old lady.
That's a nice property.
It's really cool. It used to be Smith Road Elementary. All of that used to be farmland, and my grandparents' house was the farm house that was on the land. So my grandparents' house was built in I'm not kidding, 1850. Wow. And my uncle is confident that there's somewhere where there's a picture floating around where it was a dirt road before Hamilton was even an asphalt road of Minutemen walking by, but I don't know if that's. I've never saw that picture, so I don't know if that's fake news or not. But I know my grandparents' house is really old, old, and they just done a good job taking care of it for so long. For sure. I mean, my grandfather bought that in a foreclosing process back in '91. I was just a 1-year-old baby when my grandfather bought that place specifically for the garage because he was a carpenter. He wanted that 2-car garage as his space. So you never know, when a job, you guys did a small repair job for my wife and I, and then the second my grandma said that she wanted somebody, I was like, I'll call Eli. I'll get him over here and we'll get you a good quote. We'll get you running with a new roof. So you never know, you fumble the bag and you end up picking up a much bigger job than my small little sun porch was,
Yeah, well, yours is still a long-term play, too. Eventually, your whole roof has to get done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the fact that you're responsive, you're the only one that called. My uncle went through the same thing, right? So my uncle was like, let's call a couple other roofing companies. And I go, okay, I'll let you call them, right? Because I was like, I already knew. I knew the issue. I was like, I'll call Eli. I'll get him a quote. And what happened? You guys were out there next week, got us a quote. And my uncle was like, I can't get anybody to call me back. He's like, I can't get anyone to call me back. I can't get anyone to pick up the phone. And I go, I guess we gotta go with Eli then, right? I was like, go ahead, you call. Go ahead and call. That's fine with me. And so now you're looking towards this next year of growing, right? 2024. What do you plan on doing differently with your marketing? Anything, or are you keeping it under your hat?
Well, this year we pretty much stayed the same. Just didn't really have to pay for anything because we planned on doubling originally. I actually fired half my staff this spring.
Oh, wow.
So we had major turnover, but we just had turmoil. One bad apple spoils the bunch.
Yep.
I didn't want that around. Good people, just wrong time, wrong pass kind of thing. And ultimately, it is my baby, but it is a business, and I just can't have it. We've built such a good thing, and, I look at some other local companies, like I said, I won't say names again, but it's like, if they treated certain things better, they could have been around for 40 or 50 years.
Right.
And instead, some people's doors are closing at 18 to 22.
Yeah, right.
It's like, what do you want? And, we want to be around for a long time, so.
Now, how do you determine, like, what is a cultural fit for Melo Roofing?
You got to be passionate. You got to care. Customer commitment is huge. Overall, you just know, it's a vibe, kind of thing.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's tough because it's like you want to create the culture that you want, and then when people like, I asked you that question because it's kind of poignant. Like, well, how do you do it? And it's really hard because you're like, I don't know, when someone's a shithead, like I don't want them around.
We got the old school basic mentalities. You can't communicate. You just don't show up on time. Just little things that just add up. And ultimately, I pay my people very well, so I just don't put up with it. And you can only sit somebody down and have conversations about what's going on in their life so many times before you kind of gotta, hit the nail on the head, or people going down the wrong path, and luckily, people think of roofers and it's like, oh, drug addicts and yada, yada. That's not us. So I like to tell people we're the new school of roofing. So.
Yeah. That's the old joke. There's a picture I always think of with Justin Bieber, and he was looking like wicked rough, right? And it said, Justin Bieber looks like a roofer that you just paid money and he disappears for 2 weeks. You never hear anything from him. Like that. I don't know why. Like that's a general idea with roofers. Like why?
I think it just used to be the thing. Times are definitely changing. I'm sure more people notice the Ecuadorian labor forces here, and it's active. Pretty much how down south used to be, and people are used to that with, just the Spanish community. That's starting to happen. The last 3 years, it's significantly grown here. I just saw a painting Spanish crew from Delaware the other day.
Whoa.
So times are changing where, the workforce is changing, and, the American workforce is just
You called it what, a new wave? Or new age?
Yeah, new age, new wave, whatever you want to call it, but, people can either adapt to it or get with it, so.
And it's, you mentioned earlier that it was like, it's like this connotate older guys, rough around the edges. And now you have something new that's refreshing. You have a young guy building a company who like answers his phone, checks in on clients after the job is done. And it's like, it's this new breath of fresh air. What do you think is like the average age of a roofer? Do you think
average age of a roofer? Oof.
Do you think it's like 50s?
It's either 50s or 60s.
Right. So in my job, same thing. Average age is like 56 years old. So it's like you have me, 31 years old. Like it's a different kind of vibe, right? Because it's a newer crop of people joining in. Do you think there's less people getting into roofing now?
I think it's more competitive because you have the Ecuadorian labor force. So it's easy because a lot of people don't know this and they have a misconstrued idea of what it is. But pretty much Spanish crews, you usually could tell it's usually a van of some sorts, bunch of ladders on it, and the wheelbarrows, right? So they actually, 99.9% of them carry their own workers' comp, their own general liability, their own entity.
Oh.
So
you subcontract?
So some subcontract. We have both subcontractors and in-house. So,
nice.
So we have both.
Okay.
But some people think, you can't really quality control it or whatever, or you can't manage it, but that's not the case. And but ultimately, a lot of people use that now because, that out of shape roofing owner that maybe is 300 pounds.
Bad knees.
All he has to do is call. Now he has a company, Spanish working for us. But at the same time, that 300, pound guy or whatever, that old roofer owner, he still doesn't know the basics, answering phones, yada, yada, customer service.
Right.
So he gets a little more piece of the pie, but it's small. It's peanuts,
Right, because he's not following up. He's not being
Yeah,
diligent.
he's not, with the program, so to speak. So
Right.
not with the new age. So it all dies off eventually.
What kind of new technology is coming into your space that we wouldn't even realize?
I mean, I know people are starting to see a lot of more drone work. So that's been on the up and coming.
Like drone work as in like photos or like
videos, photos. You guys use it all the time now in real estate. Like I said, our space is really still and just ancient. So there's not too much new stuff. I mean, they got different types of shingles now. 40, 50. I don't really believe in 50. They have composite metal shingles. They have hard plastic shingles that pretty much like with heat it will heal the shingle like if it gets blasted by hail. I mean,
interesting.
Yeah, I mean they got a lot of interesting things, but everybody's testing.
Nobody,
it's not like it's a solidified thing that we really should bring to the market, almost like 4G and 5G kind of thing yet.
Yeah, right.
But it's it's fixed, broken kind of thing.
Yeah.
Pretty much just do the basics. And I mean, I still see you guys got a bunch of paper and manila folders, and that stuff still works. I mean, I was in a FedEx late last year distribution center. I was stuck in the 1975.
Yeah.
And
what
works.
made just all the paper everywhere?
Just all the paper, even the office. I mean, even the phone machines, copy machines. Just the computer management systems that they had. But it works.
Green, black and green, right?
It works, right?
Yeah. So, was this running on Windows 98? Jesus.
Pretty much.
Well, that's like my real estate business, not this new position. I was always paperless. If I was doing a contract or signing a form, I'm usually not having you sign something paper. It's like I'm gonna send something DocuSign. I want to save trees, but now I'm in this management position. There are some things that I'm like, I need to have printed out. I need to have just to help me from a organization standpoint. I feel like if you just have a practice and continue to do that practice, the system works. If it works for you,
Right.
works for you. If you were sitting in my shoes, you might have a totally different system, but if you are consistent with it, then you'll make it work, right? No matter if it's from Windows 98 you're using or the newest one, it's wild. How did you even come up with Melo Roofing? Because Melo is not in your name at all.
No. so some people call me Mr. Mello as like a joke. That's sticking with me. Carmelo Anthony. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh okay.
So
I love that.
I was up one late night with my roommate, and I was just like, Melo Roofing. That's it. And
were you spitballing other ideas?
Not that I remember.
Yeah.
It's kind of a blur.
Oh yeah, it was 4 years ago.
4 or 5, yeah.
4 or 5 years ago, and spur of the moment, just trying to come up with ideas.
Yeah, we're coming up with different names. I mean, I knew, I wanted to niche down to roofing, but I just didn't know name wise at the time. And then it was just like boom.
Once you had the name and you knew it was going to stick,
Yeah.
what were the next steps? Is it like, all right, let's go get a logo done up? Or was it like, let's register as a business?
I mean, it is kind of a blur, I'm not going to lie.
That's amazing. It's because you were at a full 10 all the time, and you're like, I don't remember, dude.
I really don't. I mean, obviously, our logo stands out. That was done for free by a local guy.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, that's
and
cool.
now he charges.
Yeah.
Because he's like, man, I should have charged for that. He's like, that was got to be my most successful logo. And now he charges. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, of course, you go get a website and you do the basics, but it's just, I don't know, just hit the ground running.
Do you do a lot on social media?
Not really. We've tried bringing it in-house. We let a few people go. I did a lot of it last year. I think I still ended up posting 250 projects myself last year, but personally not right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to bring it in-house, but we're working on it.
Trying to find the right fit for somebody to take over the social media?
Yeah, I mean, well, we have it mixed into, a marketing role, because I still handle all my marketing, because people are always like, who does it? Who does it? Me, so.
Would you rather have that passed off to somebody? Or do you like controlling the marketing?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're spending money, but I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're spending money, but it's like tactile spending.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it. I mean, I don't know. I enjoy it. It's tough. It's not really a full round year position right now.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's one of those positions that is, it's like, okay, you're prepping for next year.
Mm-hmm.
But, if you're paying for it ahead of time or vice versa, I mean, that's already done with it, so you don't have to touch it again.
Mm-hmm.
It's just set for the season.
Right.
So usually it could be, like 2 to 3 months span, and then the rest of the year is set other than social media kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So.
And when you're saying set for the rest of the year, do you schedule the post? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I just mean schedule the marketing, I mean, you start, on a month-to-month basis with marketing, and then eventually it's when you get large enough, it's you're already pre-booking year out on marketing, whether it's billboards or whatever, because all that stuff books up.
Yeah.
Because you're competing with the national companies, and the large outfits like the Burn Dairies and the Harley Davidsons and all the liquor companies and the stuff like that. So they book stuff years in advance,
right?
Because they have the money for it,
right?
So you're competing in that space.
Yeah, right. So. And especially when those players have so much money, they got so much money to play with. It's a little bit harder to keep up because you're not scaled on a Burn Dairy level.
No,
you'll get there though, right?
No.
That's the goals, right? To scale.
We are doing his daughter's house.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Dude, that's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
Dude, you locked that in. That's great.
Did,
so what do you think attributed to opening that door?
Taking care of people. It's everything's playing its course. You know what I mean? You do the basics, but you got to stay on the basics. It's just...
And for you, what is the basics? Just answering the phone or
customer service, people, doing the right things, customer surveys and feedback from your homeowners, and because we primarily are just in the residential space. We work with a few builders.
And it's also not just
but
doing getting a survey is one thing, but changing your business and acting upon that is big.
If somebody has an issue, how are you addressing it? I mean, you can't bend over backwards for everybody, but you could certainly try. It is taxing. It does age you. You deal with so many people, and Amazon kind of ruined that for us because you get things next day.
Right.
And that's just not the reality of a small business. You're just they have endless funds. It's just not where we're at.
Not applicable, yeah. No.
What
do you think you guys do really well? Like this is your chance to brag. What do you think you guys do the best?
I mean, I really try not to brag too much because I just don't.
Yeah.
I just.
Well, here's your opportunity, dude. What do you guys think you do really well?
Everything.
Everything.
No, I mean, seriously, I do. It's just a lot of people are spin-offs. So Top Tier, he used to be an installer for the roofing guys. Forte, they used to be brothers. They had a company together.
Oh, nice.
You've
been in this circle for a hot minute, dude.
Yeah, you start to figure out everybody.
Yeah, right.
So
are there big roofing conventions where you're bumping into these guys all the time?
No, to be honest, I always tell people what's happening here is not the standard. So I go elsewhere all the time. I mean, I'm flying out to another company at the end of this month. So,
oh, for doing what?
I shadow. I go do it all.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like my school. So
you're gonna shadow another roofing company or an entrepreneur?
Another roofing company. I do both. I mean, I just saw a $20 million HVAC company out in Albany. I saw a $15 million roofing company out there.
Whoa. Okay, so when you set these up, this just opened up a whole nother thing. This is cool that you do this. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So when you reach out to these companies, they're usually yeah, come on, we'll show you what's up.
It has to be a fluid guy, you know what I mean? It's because ultimately I'm never going to, let's say, Nebraska for roofing, and personally I'm not going out to Albany or wherever else. I just don't want that headache. We might be, I mean, we service all the way to New Hartford, all the way out to Seneca Lake right now, down in the Ithaca, but
you don't want to branch out to
but I'm not,
Rochester.
I do like Rochester, but that's for another story.
Oh, okay, another story.
Yeah.
So you go to these people and you're just let me just shadow you.
Well, you meet, you greet, you're not really you're just hey, you're at a different level than I'm at. I'd like to get to your level kind of thing, do you mind if I come, ask you some questions, maybe stay, one guy. They were super nice, but then they paid for my stay and,
Whoa.
paid for my dinners and yada, yada. So
Whoa, that's
some
cool.
people are super nice,
Yeah.
It's just...
But also what you're doing, dude,
I mean, it's a $1 billion industry. People don't realize.
Yeah.
So
You're like making this really cool spider web, right? Like this effect where it's like you're learning all these cool different techniques from people who are like successful at what they do, because that's what you're targeting, right? Is these successful businesses.
pretty much, yeah, successful. I mean,
What do you look for when
usually,
you're trying to find a business to shadow?
I mean, a level-headed owner, which I think I'm level-headed. So, somebody who's open and willing to whether teach, learn, spend time with me. Somebody that's humble. Usually somebody that's... I want to avoid the speed bumps.
Yeah. Do you interview these guys before you like commit to driving out there or flying out there?
Usually we're talking months, years in advance.
Oh.
And then it's kind of just like we're at the point where it's
Wow.
like, I'd love to come see your facility, see your team,
Yeah.
And that's, yeah.
It's very surprising to me.
Not everybody's open though.
Right. But I also...
Especially local.
Especially local, right? Because they want to keep it locked down.
Yeah.
But what's surprising to me is there's so many people that are like willing to like teach you stuff and show you. Like there's literally the same opportunity, and people that I've met is from my good friend Frank has put me in connections with different people in the real estate world, and just through those connections alone, it's like even just like spending an hour doing this on mic, off mic, whatever, like they're always so welcoming and warming. It always surprises me when when I come from a point of view where I'm like, look, I'm new into real estate. I don't know what I'm doing. Do you have time to chat and help me learn a little bit more about your business? Dude, 9 times out of 10, people are like, I would love that. Why don't you come in Friday at noon?
Well, there's a lot of money too in the, not that everybody, I mean, there's some guys that do it for free, but then coaching is huge.
Oh, yeah, that's big in the real estate world.
Yeah,
Is
so-
there like coaching in the roofing
Yeah,
world?
it's starting to get big. I mean, people charge big money,
Yeah.
I mean, consulting, coaching, same, strategy, analysis guys. I mean, there's a lot of money in it. I mean,
That's not your cup of tea, though.
Not really.
Yeah.
I personally, I've always had this expression. It's easier for to steal from another contractor than it is a homeowner.
Mm-hmm.
And what I kind of mean by that is, if I'm another contractor that wants to grow my business and you're my consultant, I want to give you money because I want to grow,
Mm-hmm.
right? You have blinders on sometimes.
Yep.
And then versus a homeowner, they could see they're protecting their nest egg.
Yep.
So
Yep.
a lot of these guys that grow fast and they become successful, it's just like they're taking anybody and everybody, because the statistics on people that actually have a business over like 1 million is far few and in between.
Yeah.
So there's always that people that are just starting, a spin-off or whatever, because there's another spin-off off the company I saw in Albany. They're in Utica now. So, I mean, it's like somebody always thinks, like, I can do this, but sometimes it's just not the case.
Right.
Whether it's a sales guy that wants to leave and go start his own or, whatever. You see it all the time. I'm
Right.
sure you've seen at some point or another people try to start their own brokerage.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, it happens. And that's like...
And sometimes it's successful and sometimes it's not.
Right. It's the personality, I think, is what makes it work or not.
Yeah.
And the person's drive also, too. It's just like, do you want to make this work? Especially in real estate, because it's a world where it's an eat what you kill kind of business, right? Like if you want to chill in your underwear at home, you totally can, but you're going to miss out sales that day. And it's... especially when you're opening up your own brokerage, it's like hypersensitive, right? Because not only are you still need to make sales, but you also have to recruit agents. You also have to make sure the business, you still have to make sure you're following legal procedures and fair housing laws. So there's like a lot of moving parts, and it's a large pizza to come at and try to eat, but it's just like any business. It's like some people are going to do really good with their personalities. Other people are just going to fail just because they don't have the drive or the ambition of wanting to go out and learn more things from other people who've done it more successfully. Have you had people come to you and like want to learn more from you?
Yeah, so we've started to get into that, where people want to come to us. Like I said, I'm not, other businesses, sure, but I'm pretty private,
Yeah.
I just stick to my little self, and I just want people to talk about me, and I don't need to talk about myself.
Yeah. You would rather, though, do you enjoy like taking someone under your wing and kind of showing them the process and stuff that you do?
No, I don't think I'm really the best teacher. I'm more of just like
A student.
yeah,
Yeah.
but student. But I'm more of the visionary. I want to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not really, I guess, the best like integrator or implementer, so to speak.
Well, I don't know about
But
that,
right
dude,
now,
'cause
I mean,
you got a very successful business.
I have to be a little bit of both right now,
Yeah.
but for the future, you never know.
Yeah.
So
What is, we'll say, first we'll go 5 year. What's your 5-year plan with Melo?
I used to say I could see it, and now I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. And that's fine. You don't have to know. I'm just interested to know, like, sometimes people have, like,
I mean, my original plan. So my one main mentor, he passed away earlier this year, plane accident, private plane.
oh,
So he had a partner. They were trying to be one of the first $1 billion roofing companies, residential space.
whoa.
So they were just buying and acquiring. We were going to be looked at once we hit the $10 million mark, which we were very close.
Oh, wow.
So what ended up happening is, kind of just, I fired everybody. That happened earlier this year. We went for more like, we're going to look before we grow again that big, because you have a lot of, no pressure, no diamonds when you grow 3X in a year.
Yeah.
So we're looking for more right people, right seats this year, and we're literally like 1 or 2 people away from just locking this area down. So,
Wow, that's crazy.
but yeah,
That's close, dude. You're like 1 or 2 people. That's like within. You could smell it.
yeah, we feel it.
Yeah.
We feel it.
Yeah.
So, we're excited.
What about 10 year? What do you want to do with 10 year?
Well, even 5 year, I just don't know. I'm just so young, and I'm, private equity is getting in. I know it's in your space now. It's coming in the HVAC world. It's coming into roofing. So, I mean, offers have been on the table. That doesn't really, bother me. In New York, you get cut at half almost. So,
Yeah.
it'd have to be an absurd amount. Some other local guys have been trying to sell for a while. Nobody's going to pay that amount. It's just not happening.
Right.
So I don't know yet. I don't know. I mean, I'm getting into real estate. That's been fun.
Nice.
So,
Like buying up investment properties and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, getting into investment properties. We might be getting into some big multifamily.
Nice. What agent are you working with?
We're doing all off-market stuff.
Oh, nice.
No agents.
Nice. Even better then. You get
So,
a good deal. And you also get a handshake deal, right?
Yeah, I mean, we still have to deal with attorneys and yada yada, but most of my stuff's been off market thus far. But I do have a few, I have my main bunch, so.
Yeah. And so you're doing multifamilies and
Looking
any
at
commercial space?
Not really. I think commercial space is dying, unless you're owner occupying right now. I think there's going to be a lot of empty properties in the next 10 years.
I'm very curious to see how the office world shakes down.
I think you're going to see a lot of more
buildings?
conversions into multifamily if there's the parking space and the zoning allows it. That's one thing I learned fast is it's better just to buy something that's already pre-zoned for it. I want to get in the storage facility space, which is almost capped out here. Obviously, BNC practically runs the
Pack
market.
Rats just opened up another one that's right in Liverpool, too.
Yeah, Wetzel there. So I know the lender that did that loan, so I got to talk about that with them. So that was cool.
Dude, what I appreciate about you is like you're not afraid to like reach out and talk to these people when you want to learn something. That's not a trait most people have.
Well, I just there's so many ways to do things.
Right.
So many ways. And I don't think there's a right or wrong. It's just which way do you want to do it, because you're gonna hit speed bumps no matter what.
Right. And it's cool though, is like sometimes when people hit the speed bump though, they just kind of like go off the rails or they kind of don't pick up the pieces. Like what I appreciate about you is like, yeah, you're gonna hit speed bumps, but like I'm gonna go talk to that NASCAR driver to figure out why he doesn't have speed bumps. Do you know what I mean? Which is like something that I appreciate that you do with your job, because I don't think many people are doing that in their entrepreneurial space. Do you know, whether it's real estate or roofing or HVAC.
Well, we're in a more secluded environment now. COVID happened.
Yep.
People are just by themselves. We barely ever get together anymore.
Right.
That's just kind of where we're at as a society. You see less and less kids playing outside. I mean, I remember growing up and it was just like we still had kids everywhere, and I'm young.
I think we grew up in this Goldilocks age, right? Like we still had some technology, right? Like I still had I remember playing Diablo 2 on my computer with the internet, but it wasn't like this addictive prowl over me. It was like, all right, I played Diablo for a bit. Now I want to go run out and go play with my friends. Now it just seems like it's a chokehold. And maybe not video games, but just like social media in general or tablets or whatever other entertainment device. And we like got to find our friends from riding the bikes to the street being like, look, there are 5 bikes in front of Eli's house. Everybody's in Eli's house. Let's go and hang out. And I just don't know if that happens too much.
No, times are changing, and ultimately it's easier if you're out to dinner, like your kid's crying, give him a tablet, and that's what you see.
Guilty.
Yeah,
Guilty.
It's
especially when he's causing a scene. You're like,
yeah,
I'll let you watch Thomas the Tank Engine.
Yeah, and it's it's just tough. It really is. I don't know. I don't like it, but it's what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? It's what I always enjoyed about you as a business owner is the fact that you look at your business with an open mind, and I think that is a big reason why you're so successful in the space that you are, because you're looking at things with an open perspective on things. And like that mentor thing, dude, like just having a mentor, not many people have that. I have a few that are like for different aspects. It's like I have a business mentor. I have like a martial arts mentor, I have like different people in that space who are mentors in that regard. But it's nice to have somebody to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And right now I don't have anybody, so that's why this year's kind of been a stray. But not really. We've grown, but just not grown the way we have the last 2-3 years. Like we're gonna do more than we did last year, a little bit over. But ultimately, with a downed economy, I mean, that's just the way it is. I mean, people overspent the last few years, and I even heard a statistic that all the manufacturers in roofing were down. I think it was 14% on products shipped this year.
Wow.
So if I'm doing a little bit more than last year, it means we're honing in on the space.
Yeah.
So it'll bounce back. So
now, if you had a magic wand, you could change anything, maybe about your business or about roofing in general. What would it be? Change anything like this. Snap of your finger.
I don't say New York taxes, but
yeah. Hey, dude, that can count. Dude, that can count.
I would say that one, but ultimately, I don't know what I would change. Ultimately, the success of a business or the failure is usually on the owner. It all falls on us.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're not where we want to be yet, we got to look within.
Yeah, and figure out why it's not being successful.
Yeah, or just give more effort. Usually effort and output is a direct correlation of what is going on.
Entrepreneurship 101, right?
Yeah.
The more effort you put in, the more results
most
you'll
of the time.
see. Most of the time. As long as your energy's put in the right focus, right? Last question I have. What is your best piece of advice you would give somebody who's trying to start a business right now?
Tough. Piece of advice.
I stumped him.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things. I mean, you can make a list, but ultimately just really, really look at, is this something you want to do? Because, I mean, it's a roller coaster like real estate. It's like going to heaven and going to hell and going to heaven and going to hell.
Yeah. There's what's that saying? It's the entrepreneur is somebody who left a 40-hour work week to work an 80-hour work week instead.
pretty much. And it gets better over time, but no matter what, whether you have somebody that runs your business for you, if that person decides to go, you're always pulled back in. So you're hipped until the day you decide to shut the doors. It's taxing. So I've noticed that, the last few years I really had to take a second earlier this year to just chill a little bit, but it's one of the reasons why we're not probably killing it, you know what I mean?
Slow, but dude, what did you say? You doubled business from last year? Like that's still
triple,
dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, tripled. Like that's impressive, dude. You're like, we slowed down a little bit this year, but bro, you tripled your business.
I mean,
from
the
last
environment
year.
slowed down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I said there, but ultimately, we've grown in many different ways. So we're just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
taking slight turns and not trying to do a 360,
Yep.
or 180. It's
figuring out how to course correct.
yeah, pretty much, and just running with it. You got to try things out. Okay, we're going to implement this for a week. We'll see how it does, get feedback off it. Okay, great, it works. If it doesn't, we throw it out.
Yeah. Dude, respect.
It's the busy, boring work, as one of my buddy calls it.
Busy, boring work. Yep.
Yeah, but it's the stuff that catapults you.
Yeah, right. And you never know what's going to be the next thing that catapults you into something.
No,
never know.
I mean, the more people you meet, the more opportunities there are.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you know a few. I mean, there's a lot of real estate agents that are also investing and getting into big multifamily. I mean, Brian Murphy there did Anchorage, Alaska, or whatever.
Brian's killing it out there.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who'd ever thought?
Yeah. Brian's a great guy. You know Brian?
Yeah, we've done a few roofs for him. I mean, I would say he's one of our bigger guys that likes to refer us. So.
Yeah, I love that dude. He's great.
There's like I said, there's a million. They're good out there.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, thanks for taking the time to do this.
Of course, thank you.
What we'll do is in the show description below, so whoever's watching or listening, right below, we'll have your links for like your website, how to contact you, or your social media and stuff. Okay. And I don't know, dude, that's all I have. Do you have anything you want to preach about? Anything you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I'm really all right. I think that was good, and
this was cool, like an entrepreneurial perspective on starting a business, and also like how you scaled successfully a business.
Don't start your business. Just come work for me.
Yeah.